The next step is I'm going to want to create the top plate. I'm going to start that by creating a rectangle by going up to this top rectangle button. And in that, I'm going to click on Shape. I can now design the shape based on my dimensions. I want the width to be 2 inches and the height to be 5.5 inches. I hit Enter, and there's my part on the screen. You can see that this part matches up to the milling here in the corner. As I move this part to different locations, it's now showing me a preview on my preview map here on the right hand side. I'm going to go ahead and move this part all the way to the top, and that way it overlaps and it's just covering or over the top of the my Scratch Pad. I'm also going to go ahead and click on the Cut tab. I want it to be, instead of filling the entire milling the part out, I'd like to do an outline and on the path. That way the drill bit follows right on the line and will cut the piece out as it's tracing on that line. I'm going to want to cut it all the way out, so I'm going to go down to a full 1/4. When I do that, that 1/4 should match up to my Z, and if I look at my part, I can see here that it's going to cut all the way through. I also have these yellow tabs. What that does is it holds the part in and will mill out just enough to have just a little bit of material holding this part in. If I don't do that, as it cuts it all the way out, that part might fly out of the machine. I want it to keep in place. So it gives me the nice little holding material, and then I can cut those out with a saw after the milling is done. Now I can move this rectangle by clicking on the line of the rectangle and keeping my finger on the left hand button. And you can see it has that double arrow on that line, and as I'm moving it back and forth, it can move anywhere on this piece. I'm going to just go ahead and drop it right on the line, on that dotted line, and that way this milling piece will cut right with the edge of the piece.